There has been a recent excommunication in the Catholic Church. Apparently, there was a group, I'm not going to name names or the name of the organization. They were out of Colorado, United States, where the leader of this group was consecrated by a bishop of the Catholic Church, and I guess named a bishop, and this was all done without the authority of the Pope and the hierarchy of the Catholic Church. And so naturally they had to come down and proclaim that they are not a part of the Catholic Church anymore, and everyone should be warned that any service that you partake in with this group is not in good standing with the faith, and the sacraments and all of the spiritual rituals are null and void, and you are just wandering as a soul in this realm without any support of the authority and all of the grace that comes from the spiritual rituals you're not receiving, and so you are just lacking. You are not in the ideal situation you could be in if you had all of the grace flowing from the authority of the Catholic Church. Anyway, take a listen to this. I'll be right back with a little bit more fire and wisdom.
We have a new excommunication in the Catholic Church, and it's right here in the USA. The Vatican just sent a letter of excommunication to Anthony Ward, who leads the Servants of the Holy Family, which is a traditionalist religious community for men based in Colorado Springs. The Servants of the Holy Family was founded in 1977, and they're dedicated to the traditional Latin Mass. They view themselves as faithful guardians of Catholic doctrine and liturgy. A major cause for the excommunication and schismatic declaration was Ward's secret consecration as a bishop in 2024 by Archbishop Telesphore George Mupundu, who is the Archbishop Emeritus of Lusaka, Zambia. This was an unauthorized consecration, as only the Pope can appoint bishops. Archbishop Mupundu has also since been excommunicated. The Diocese of Colorado Springs has issued decrees urging the faithful to avoid the group, stating that their priests are not in good standing and that certain sacraments administered by them are illicit or invalid according to canon law. Remember, excommunication is not a vindictive punishment, but a medicinal penalty. The denial of the sacraments is meant to serve as a kind of a shock therapy to make the individual realize the gravity of their sin and seek reconciliation.
First off, this is funny on so many levels. I guess the first question is, why did that bishop feel the need to consecrate the leader of this church as a part of the Catholic Church, I think? Why did he feel the need to consecrate him as a bishop? And what does consecrate someone as a bishop even mean? Well, this is what it says on good old Google. Consecration of a bishop is the rite of ordination where a priest receives the fullness of holy orders, becoming a successor to the apostles and a member of the episcopate. It sounds like a bunch of man-made hierarchy. We have this club and you're not in it unless we say you're a part of it. And so it's funny that the bishop in good standing with the Catholic Church felt the need to consecrate this guy as a bishop. I don't know why he did, but it's part of the problem. This idea that we have this caste system, so to speak, and depending on what the authorities tell you you're allowed to do spiritually and what you're allowed to provide in terms of services can only be approved by the Pope and his bishops and the hierarchy and all that. The whole thing is nonsense. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about the essence of all of us. We are all equal. I'm pretty sure somewhere in the Bible it says we're all called to be priests. We don't need this hierarchy that tells us we're not allowed to do these things. We're not allowed to have spiritual ceremonies, spiritual rituals that, based on what that video just said, it seemed like were largely in line with the Catholic faith. It seemed like everything they were doing was right. It was just this consecration as him as a bishop. It was overstepping the authority of the Catholic Church and the Pope. And Again, I don't know why that bishop felt the need to do it, but I don't know why the Catholic Church feels that they need to have this stranglehold on people practicing their spirituality, coming together as a community, performing spiritual rituals. You don't need another human being to you don't need to give another human being the authority to tell you whether or not you're able to do that. We know this just from the dark practices of spirituality, the dark arts. Like, we know that anyone can partake in the spiritual process. I suppose the Catholic Church is just trying to protect people from nefarious spiritual leaders that are trying to lead people down the wrong path. That's nice. I do understand that and respect that. And what's funny is for the past 2,000 years, I get it. You know, like it served a purpose, I suppose. But we're at a point now where we are graduating from sheeplehood to lionhood. That's why we have the Raise Our Awareness Revolution, humanity's roar. It's not something you need to feel like you're a part of. It's not something you need to claim affiliation to. No, this is what's happening in our world right now. We are graduating from sheep to recognizing that we are all divine lions and we all are equal and we all have the same capability, and we should all unite in our spiritual understanding and respect for each other, and we should recognize what Jesus Christ himself came here to promote. And that was the golden rule. That was that the kingdom of God is within you. How you treat others is how you treat God. So this idea that we should be perceiving humanity as a bunch of dirty little sinners that suck. Like, no, we should think that we are all the divine manifestation and expression of God himself in all of our unique ways. Because once we do that, then we'll start perceiving everyone as God. And when we do that, we'll probably start respecting each other to a higher degree. We'll probably start respecting ourselves to a higher degree. And so this video just highlights the hierarchical problem that is institutionalized religion that has arguably served its purpose for thousands of years. But we're at a point where the metaphorical keys that were given to Peter by Jesus are now going to be passed from Peter to humanity. And we are ready. We can have these moral discussions and these discussions on how we coexist peacefully and harmoniously. We can have these discussions as humanity. We are ready. We can recognize that everything is of spirit. Spirit is all that is the source. This lower plane, this extension of that spirit into this denser elemental experience we call life in the physical material realm as we perceive it. That's all it is a perception. It's an illusion. We are all spiritual beings. We are all one. And the sooner we recognize that and the sooner we're able to start living like that, the better our lives are going to be individually and collectively. So, once again, this is the Raise Our Awareness Revolution, humanity's roar. I'm Da Vinci the Truth. God bless. Take care.